Growth. Growth is the name of the game. We all want to grow. Now, how big we want to get, what we want to do ultimately with our business, that's an individual decision. But we want to grow. That's why we started this business. We've got to get a little bit bigger than, yes, just ourselves. And that's the point. It's got to be a little bit bigger than just ourselves. Growth requires a team. You're just not going to do it all yourself. You are eventually going to run out of time. It's that simple. It's a math game. You wear all the hats. You're doing it all. You're the accountant. You're doing the marketing. You're doing the sales. You're doing the budgets. You're out checking on the field every day. Well, you know the drill. It just goes on and on. And there are only so many hours a day to make all of that happen. Now, for me, it basically came down to the fact that I want to say I was pulling my hair out, but that's a whole different story. But I reached the point where I realized I could not service my customers the way I wanted to. I couldn't take care of them. I couldn't return the phone calls the way I wanted to. I just couldn't be there for the customer. Something had to give. I either had to give up on this whole construction company thing, or I needed to change the way I was doing business because it couldn't continue the way I was going. I was out of time. I was working 18 hours a day. I was exhausted. And, honestly, I took a flyer on it. I literally took a flyer. I didn't really have a lot of work at the time. I had a lot of work, but I didn't have a big backlog. I wasn't feeling like warm and fuzzy comfortable. But with the work I had, I couldn't take care of the business. So I brought on a project manager. When I say project manager, I mean somebody in-house, somebody to do the paperwork, write the subcontracts, follow up on the phone calls, talk to the clients every single day. Because I needed to work on sales. I needed to work on budgets. I had plenty of things to do. I was still doing the accounting. I needed help. Now, I didn't know how I was going to pay for the project manager. I honestly didn't. I took this wild flyer at it and said, I'm going to figure this out. It's either going to crash and burn or it's going to take off. Guys, it took off. My customers were happy. Somebody was calling them every day. The subs knew when to be on the job sites. Superintendent didn't have to make the phone calls out and try to schedule the work. The PM took care of that. They said, hey, I'm going to be ready for plumbing rough next Tuesday. My project manager, she would follow up with the plumber, make sure their contract was in place, make sure they had a scope of work, made sure that they were going to be there on Tuesday. She would follow up with the superintendent, make sure the superintendent was in fact ready on Tuesday when the sub was coming. All of that good stuff. She reviewed the subcontractor's invoices, made sure the scope of work was correct, the payments were correct. And she paid for herself many times over. I signed up plenty of jobs to cover her time because that's what I was paying for was her time. But immediately, she paid for herself. It was not an expense to the company because I had time to focus on the company. Once I could focus on more aspects of the company in a stronger, better way, I was able to grow. I was able to sign more work. It became easier to sign more work. I could spend more time on that budget. I could spend it with that client, getting that scope of work right. So if you're looking to grow, which, as I said in the beginning, that's ultimately the objective we all have to some level. Maybe we want to take over the world. Maybe we want to take over the state, maybe our county, maybe our town. Maybe we just want to do 10 really nice jobs a year. But it's going to take some growth. You got to have systems in place. You got to be able to have that seat ready. So when you're ready to grow, when you have to grow, and you've got to plug somebody in and put them in that seat, they know what they're doing. They know what's expected of them. Or you're going to end up with somebody in a seat and you're still doing it all yourself. That's not growth. That's not productive. It's not efficient. There's so many things it's not. So as you're being the one-man entrepreneur, build systems that other people can do. Make a note of it, even if they're cryptic notes in the beginning, but start making a note of it. This is how I pay the bills. A lot of times, once you start writing all that down, you go, that's not very efficient. If I had to hand this to somebody else to do, it's never going to work. Helps clear your mind. Helps you run a better business while you're still a solopreneur. So it has benefits all around. But growth is about building a team. Building a business is about building systems so that team knows what to do, knows what to expect, and can get the work done that you need accomplished. So don't be afraid of systems. Don't be afraid of hiring. Every hire should pay for themselves. There are very few people within a company that are pure overhead. If it does nothing more than just free up your time so you can focus and bring in more business, then it pays for itself. So don't think of new hires as an expense. They're an asset. They're helping you to grow your company. Guys, let's do a great job out there. Let's grow our companies. We're going to be the best at whatever our goal is to be. Hang in there, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey guys, are you a remodeler working a ton of hours and the bank account just is not where you want it to be? I know the feeling. It took me 20 years to figure it out. You need a solid business foundation, just like you need a solid foundation in building your house. If you want to get your business to where it belongs, click on the link below and we'll schedule a free consultation and see what next steps are required for you. Thanks.